But I wanted to talk about this video because it started some interesting conversations that I think were pretty important. First off, Dyer did a great-ass job on this one, and I did not give her enough time. I really did not give her enough time. She was like, okay, so Dan got a year on the How to Play Yu-Gi-Oh video. How long am I getting on the Vrains video? And I was like, 8 days. I did not. That was not good. She did good though. I was surprised that she basically found every relevant piece of video that I mentioned. It's chronological, so it's not a big deal. I guess I would say making this video. I know a lot of people were like, he's been working on this video for 2 years. I want to be clear, that's not true. I've been wanting to make the video for like 2 years. I have been actively in the process of like writing and editing it for maybe like 2 months. Like, it is not the case that it took me 2 years to write this script. It's just like things kept getting in the way and I didn't really know how I wanted to do it, you know? But I guess the big thing, there are two big things that I was kind of upset with. The first is that I didn't figure out a way to shorten down the synopsis portion. I wanted it to be very short, and it's like 10 minutes at least. And the second is this thing at the end with I that we'll talk about, which appears to be like the biggest criticism of the video, which I think is pretty fair. The only flaw was the soul burner glazing. I was surprised to learn that many people actually disliked Soulburner. There are people in the comments that are like, oh, Soulburner, you either love him or you hate him. And I was like, some of you hate him? Okay. I just didn't think about that. I want to add, I don't want to say like an epilogue to this, but maybe a discussion of kind of the last sequence here. So at the very end, one of the things that I'm immensely critical of is in the third season, I, who has been the jolly protagonist, sidekick of Playmaker the entire time, says, I have adopted Lightning, the evil AI's philosophy, and I now want to kill all humans, right? And I talk about how this is stupid, like it's dumb. And then people hop in the comments to say, well, that's not really what he did. So this is true. What I was doing is a little less selfish. So Lightning's philosophy was he had run 1 trillion simulations of humans and AI living harmoniously. And they had all ended in the death of all the humans or the death of all the Ignis, right? And so Lightning was like, well, then I guess we have to kill all the humans. There's no other option, right? There is no way we can coexist. Instead, one of us has to be dominant, and it's going to be me, right? So in the duel with Varys, Varys is like, you fucked up your simulations. And he's like, how? I did like 1 trillion of them. And he's like, well, you controlled for the variables the AI and humanity, but you didn't control for the individual AI and humanity. And if you do that, which the Hanoi did, as long as you exclude Lightning from these equations, all the AIs live harmoniously with people. Which means that the common denominator here is this AI specifically is so much of an asshole, he can't coexist with humanity. So Revolver was like, we just have to kill you, man. And then that's all good. I mean, that isn't the explicit goal of Hanoi, but he uses it to be like, this displays your inferiority, right? So Lightning is like, that's not true. Bowman is like, that might be true, and ends up absorbing Lightning and then fighting Playmaker. So in the third season, AI says, I have run the simulations and seen that Lightning is right. There is no future of coexistence with the AI and humanity, and I will now destroy all humanity. In the duel with Playmaker, he says, okay, I was being a little facetious here. Here's what I found out. Every single time the Dark Ignis, me, exists with humanity, it precipitates a conflict. And during that conflict, either I, the final Ignis, am killed, or Playmaker steps in to prevent humanity from killing me and is killed in the process. So I'm doing this duel so Playmaker can remove me from the face of the earth without feeling the guilt of humankind destroying me, or without dying because I want Playmaker to live, right? That's the same. This is what kind of bothers me, is that this is the same belief system as Lightning. He's like, he's like, no, you don't understand. He looked into all the futures and saw that Playmaker would die in every one because people would come after him and Playmaker would intervene being killed. And I'm like, then Lightning was right. There is no coexistence between the AI and humanity. It's like, I guess maybe they would continue to coexist if there was a huge war, Playmaker was killed, and humanity felt so bad they killed one of their own to kill an Ignis that they decided that the Ignis can continue living. That seems like a bit of a stretch. So to me, it sounds like, I understand that he has a nobler intention, but he still believes Lightning's thesis, which is there is not coexistence between humanity and the AIs. And for him to believe the things he believes, Revolver has to be wrong when speaking to Lightning, which I also don't think is true. They say that's only if I is specifically the last Ignis alive. I just like, okay, here is what I will say. And I saw this echoed on Blue Sky, which is a weird thing I didn't see elsewhere. You understand what's going on, right? There's a scenario invented in which I gets to do a boss rush against all of the characters, claim to want to destroy all of humanity, and still have noble intentions. And to maneuver themselves into this position, they have to convince the audience there will be a war about the future of AI that doesn't count as non-peaceful coexistence for the purposes of Revolver. That Playmaker is killed in all of those simulations, and that the Revolver simulations didn't check if I was the last AI standing. To me, what that smacks of is the writers didn't do a good job. Like that the story was poorly written and they had to like post hoc invent a reason for I to do the things he does in season 3. So I don't know. I think there is an argument that within the structure of the narrative that makes sense, like his actions. I just think that it is such a stretch. I find it really stupid. To me, it sounds like a total mismanagement of Lightning's thesis, of I's rejection, of Revolver's analysis, and of Bowman's philosophy. But if you jump through a million hoops, maybe there's a way that it makes sense if you are willing to accept some truly ridiculous premises that are written poorly enough that I think it sours the work in a different direction. It's just very contrived. Yeah, that's how I would say it, yeah. I don't know. I just the one thing I've been surprised at with respect for this video is that despite the fact that people have been talking about that specific thing in the comments, it's been almost universally people giving me like good feedback on it. Like, I expected it to be super contentious and people online to be like, here comes Joseph shit talking Vrains, but almost universally people have been like, yeah, it was nice. And I appreciate that. I just assumed there were people who cared a lot about Vrains as it existed instead of like the version of Vrains that could have been good that we all know we didn't get. The last thing I want to say is Duel Links. Oh man. So I don't expand much on Duel Links. At the very end, I say Duel Links is continuing the story of Vrains, which is true, using their event structure. And the reason that we didn't go too into it is it's really hard to find all of the Duel Links events. Like, there's not like an online repository of all the text from the Duel Links events, to my knowledge. Or if there is, I wasn't about to fucking get into it. And I think describing what happens in Duel Links, one, I don't think I would necessarily get it all right, because, you know, there are periods of time when I haven't been playing Duel Links and I might have missed stuff. And two, it's really stupid. Like, a significant amount of the Duel Links stuff is like, I survived this battle and returns to Playmaker. And then Flame shows up. And it's like, well, why did Flame show up? Well, Vrains is built on a similar type of technology to the technology in Duel Links. And it's like the Duel Links hard light system is like, you know, more Baudrillard again, a perfect facsimile of what happened in real time. And so the Ignises are reincarnated in Duel Links, even though they did experience permanent death in real life. Does that make sense? And Revolver has a bunch of lines about what are we going to do when Lightning comes back? And it's like, I don't know, man. They're never releasing more Vrains characters, so I don't think we'll have to worry about it. It's weird. It's so strange. I appreciate them being like, we'll give you the good ending, but they can't because Duel Links is a really bad system to try and tell a story through. Waiting for Duel Links exclusive high drive. When are we getting fucking Armados Legio, by the way? When are we getting Armados Legio? It's fine, they're never releasing Armados Legio. Fuck you! Armados Legio whips ass. When are we getting Windy and his hand trap that's just Herald of Orange Light with no cost? What are they called? Storm Riders? Yeah, Storm Rider. It's Griffoir, I think? No. I'm gonna find out which one it is. Skyfisher? No. 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 Tubiloof? When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and negate that effect. This card cannot be printed. This card can never come out. Oh my god. No, this is chill. Yeah, Gamma, but better. Non once per turn also. Oh my god. Oh. D-Fissure stock's going crazy. He lost the duel where he used this. Man, the thing that I kept trying to drive home in this video is that every Varus duel is fucking awesome. Every single Revolver duel, he fucking plays his heart out. The duel versus Windy is awesome. It's one of the situations where it's like, he's dead. There's no shot. In fact, there's a period where it looks like he's about to lose and he's on no cards. And Windy's like, you've lost. I'm the greatest. You're all going to die. And then he's like, why don't any of your little underlings look concerned? And they're like, we know he's going to win. And Windy's like, what are you talking about? I'm on one negate and he's got one card. He's like, he's going to win. And he wins. He literally does. He's like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry. I got this one. You should have talked more about how he uses the DM retrains. I thought about it, like being like, oh, there's this nostalgia factor. But like, while that's true for Mirror Force, it's definitely not like there are people nostalgic for fucking Imperial Order, which he activates. Revolver is actually him. Yeah. I don't know. This was a fun video to make, fun video to write. I liked talking through it. And I like just getting my thoughts on Vrains out there. Like I said in the video, it's something that is really stuck in my craw because it does come really close to asking important questions. It's very prescient, you know. It's about all the stuff that we're worried about today. It's just because it was so rushed, written so poorly, animated so cheaply, and shackled to the bloated corpse of Yu-Gi-Oh, it really suffered. God damn, I can't believe they made him play a Link spam deck. What were they thinking? Plushy Bell, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream.